This is my project number 1 memoir about my opioid addiction. I think one of my biggest regrets in life was getting addicted to opioids. I was always a rebellious kid when I was younger. My parents always warned me not to fall in the trap of peer pressure when it came to drugs and alcohol. But me being me, I did the complete opposite of everything they said. Don't do drugs, don't drink, you can ruin your life in a matter of seconds, they always said. But I did it anyway, including drugs. I was hanging out with friends after school one day when one of them pulled out a pill bottle full of white pills. Despite what my parents had told me, I decided to take one anyway. This was the start of my addiction. It allowed me to cover up my troubles with quote-unquote happiness, and in a way, put a band-aid over the discomfort, leaving it for me to take care of later. A few days later, we hung out again, and they brought more pills. I love the feeling so much, I just couldn't resist not taking another one. At first, it was just a couple of pills per week, to help with the really bad days. But before I knew it, I was taking 4 to 5 pills per day, which amounted to about 28 to 35 pills per week. Now trust me, at $10 a pill, this addiction wasn't cheap. $50 a day, $300 a week, and about $1,200 a month. Realizing 2 weeks into my addiction, after I'd spent around $600, that I couldn't afford to do this anymore, I found another way of getting my drugs, but for much, much cheaper. 4 weeks before my addiction had started, my dad had surgery to remove his thyroid. Before that, he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Because of the surgery, they had prescribed him high doses of oxycodone. This was the same drug that I was offered after school that one day. My dad soon became my new drug dealer, and he didn't even know it. I started distancing myself from everyone. I stopped talking to my parents, I lost all of my friends, and my grades dropped to an all-time low. This went on for about 3 months until one of my friends confronted me about my addiction. I couldn't have cold cut opioids if I hadn't heard from a close friend about how bad my addiction really was. This was, by far, one of the best decisions of my life, and I owe it all to that friend. This is Jolie McGinnis, my best friend throughout high school and to this day. I asked her to create a short video about how she confronted me and how I took her confrontation. She also talks about how it changed me and made me a better person. Here's what she had to say.
So, the day I remember confronting Sarah about her addiction was pretty memorable because she always took my advice on things, but she was always kind of mean about it. So we'd talk and then she'd be with her other friends and she'd put me down and stuff. It was kind of fun for her. It's that's how it made her when she had her opioid addiction. So she didn't really understand, but one day I got tired of it. I finally came out to her. I'm like, hey Sarah, you really need to stop. You really need to change this. And she was completely understanding. And she once she really figured it out, it took her a few months to realize and how people were changing and how if she kept feeling like this they'd lose her. And it really changed her for the better. She became such a nice person, so outgoing. She struggles from time to time, but never went back to it. And it's just been a better change for her.
Once I quit, everything started to get better. I still have my off days from time to time, but if it wasn't for Jolie standing up to me and telling me that I had ruined my life, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So I thank her for that. Today, my parents and I are back on good terms. I've started college, and I have some of the most amazing friends by my side. Plus, I have one of the most amazing, caring, and loving boyfriends that a girl could ever ask for. Without them, I don't know what I would do. Overall, my life is so much better sober than it ever was high. One last thing, just a little bit of advice. The feeling of true success is more euphoric than any drug you can ever buy.